According to the Pew Research Center, less than 10% of entrepreneurs in America are black. And one person is looking to change all of that with Black Entrepreneurs Day in Atlanta, aimed at empowering and celebrating black businesses. Joining me now is creator of that day and Shark Tank investor Daymond John. Daymond, good morning. It's always great to see you. Let's jump right into it here because you started Black Entrepreneurs Day back in 2020. What inspired you to create it, and what are you hoping to accomplish moving forward?
Well, thank you so much. 14% of the country is African American, and actually 3% have businesses. So it's not a great number. In 2020, I think that all of us were at home and we were watching, people burning businesses instead of building businesses. They were frustrated, and I decided to call up a bunch of celebrities and say, hey, can you get on a Zoom and talk about your failures? Shaq not knowing what a FICA was when he first started. And then I called up a bunch of brands like JP Chase and Salesforce and people like that. And I said, will you help me give away grants and money to black businesses that are being shut out of the COVID money? We started then. And now 5 years later, we are live in Atlanta, at the Fox Theater. And we had a really great evening last night. We gave away a bunch of money. We hit over $1 million mark in giving away money now year to date.
Wow, $1 million.
Or the time to date, excuse me, not year to date, yeah.
So let's get into that, the impact of all this. You mentioned the $25,000 NAACP PowerShift Entrepreneur Grants. These grants come with no strings attached for the businesses. So why are they so important, and what do you see some of these entrepreneurs doing with that money?
Well, the initial funding to a business is very, very important. And what they're doing, we also are giving them resources from people like T-Mobile and JP Wealth Management. They're using it for their employees, for staff, for inventory, to set up, the formal ways of creating a business, and for their education. It's not that African Americans and minorities don't have businesses. They just don't often formalize it because they're often left out of the process. So they're even hard to invest in, if you don't want somebody walking up with a shoebox full of receipts. So what they're doing often is really creating the great structure so then they can actually scale. And we love being part of it.
And you also say that brands and corporations aren't as focused on racial equity in their business practices as they were even 4 years ago. And this is really topical right now, especially as calls to end DEI programs intensify. So what are you doing to encourage corporations to remain inclusive? And do you think that there are some things missing in this debate that people need to think about?
Well, I think the most important aspect of this is you need to look and you need to have the people in your organization look and think like the people that you serve. Well, that's when you actually get innovation. It's good for business. Forget anything else. I can understand where all these things are getting a little confusing, but you need to look and think like the people you serve. And that's why it's really important to have these programs in the businesses, because you want to have the competitive edge. And I'm seeing the government is starting to cut a lot of those things. But many of our government workers are African-American, Latino, women, veterans, and things of that nature. So it is extremely important. However, you have to do it the right way. And when I work with the great companies, like I said, JP Chase and Salesforce, they're staying around, and they've been around since year one. They're not going, well, we're moving on to something else, or they're walking the walk and talking the talk. And those are the ones that I want to care about, and those are the ones that I want to echo, because a lot of organizations and corporations get a bad rap. At the end of the day, they want to do good, but they want to make sure that the money and the funds and the access they give is going towards somebody and something that's actually going to do good for the communities they serve.
And Daymond, we don't have much time left, but I want to get to this because you started your brand FUBU in your mom's house in Queens, and now obviously a successful entrepreneur and investor. So what's the key piece of advice that you give anyone looking to start their own business?
Money is often, it highlights the weakness of a business. Don't think you need money to make money. That's why 65% a lot of winners and athletes are bankrupt 3 years after leaving the league or winning the lotto. Do what I call the power of broke. You have to invest in your business with time and energy, and you use OPM as other people's mind power, manpower, marketing, manufacturing. Don't use money first. Money's not always going to help you, because if that's the case, then then money would have helped Blockbuster and BlackBerry and Kodak and Red Lobster. Money's not going to help you. It's about creating a culture and something that you are over providing for a customer, that something was keeping them up at night, and you found that something and you found that solution.
Daymond John, always a pleasure speaking with you, and congratulations on another successful event. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, man, and thank you for always supporting what I do. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.